Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios. I'm your StockMiner, Brian Johnson. Another run up today for the Bulls, and a strong one at that again. Volume looking good on the internals for the Bulls. So, are we getting stretched? Yes. Can we go up? You're darn right we can. And probably will come Tuesday. Remember, Monday. No trading on Monday. Take the day off, everyone. So, no trading on Monday does not mean that the futures won't be trading, so there will be some overseas trading going on within the American markets. Who knows what will happen? Maybe we hit some overhead areas on Monday and then retreat into Monday night and open who knows where. But at this point, my gut tells me that we will see, come early next week, this 10,500-ish area, if not higher. I'm going to work on these lines and see where the most logical place to go to is, but that right now, of course, is it for me, simply because that's where my line's drawn. We'll see if that holds over the weekend. Dow on a daily right back up to this line here, holding what? 10,451 is the 200-day moving average. 10,447, right where we stopped. Once again, guys, it just sometimes is very, very simple to gauge where we're going. This was no exception today. So once again, we start the day up and roll our way into Labor Day weekend, looking very, very strong at this point from the bull standpoint. Above this, we've got the 10,700 area coming up. So, like I said, let me do a little work on these lines. But overall, for the week, a very, very nice run. One thing to look at, maybe we see a little bit of a pullback back into these moving averages. And then if we roll around and start to head up, guess what? A little inverse head and shoulders action may be happening. Yeah, I know we can do those head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders all day long, but sure would look nice if we do get some sort of a pullback early next week. So we'll diagnose that this weekend and see what happens on Monday in the futures. That'll be interesting, and then we'll see what kind of news we get. Now, as it is right now, it is bullish. We broke that blue line. Great opportunity to get long this week, right up into the moving averages. Broke the moving averages. Another great opportunity to get long and hold right up into here, which ends Friday at a beautiful spot to get out and hold on and see what happens coming into early next week. That's what I will be doing for the most part. I have a little bit of a position open, which I'll discuss with my subscribers in the next video. But we are right up to some heavy overhead resistance. Great, strong run by the bulls this week. Look at this. We had a great move up on Monday, straight move down on Tuesday. Down on Monday and then up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 4 straight days up. There's just very little. Look at the wicks. Hardly any wicks on either one of these days. Just strong bullish action coming in here. This is a wave 3 of something. Only, who knows where we're at in the count. And I really don't care. As long as I'm on the right side of the trade, I really don't mind. But you can see here where the big move happened on the NASDAQ. Broke that blue line for the week. Rode right up into this 1860 area. Remember I called this as being tough overhead resistance? We held there right till the end of the day. Sure looks like it wants to push higher. So now I'm going to look at 1890-ish, right around in this area here, 1888. Would be another good area to be watching. So right up here in this area, followed by the 1910. Wow, what a strong run. NASDAQ from a daily 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is why I love to play the NASDAQ long. Love it. This is why. Obvious. When things get going for the NASDAQ, it was a lagger. It was a lagger for quite a while. But once things turned around and the market took off and we got bullish and above this blue line, this thing just did not look back. NASDAQ very, very strong. When it comes to these big moves to the upside. Lots of money comes pouring into them. Usually it's first. Here you can see on a weekly, everything's closing up and over moving averages. Just, once again, confirming the strong action we saw in the markets. This will definitely have the bulls on their heels coming into the new week. Here we are finishing right at 1104. I was kind of having a chat with some of my friends. Told them I was guessing 1108 to 1110 for a close. So I didn't quite make that, but awful close here as we came to a little double topping area. We'll see if that pans itself out, but this looks like the wave that we were watching, this big 3 wave, whatever it is, isn't quite done. I think this was 4 of 3, and now we're starting 5 of 3, and that could get into the 11:15 mark, maybe even as high as this. I'll chew on that over the weekend and let you know come Sunday or Monday what that'll be. Why not? Seems everything likes the old 200-day moving average, so why not? A little 5-wave up, putting us right at or around 11.15 come into early next week. Gee, wouldn't that make for a pretty little overhead target? So watch that coming into next week. But more importantly, look, move down on Monday. These hard, strong moves to the upside by the bulls with heavy buying coming in. Really making for some, some really good entries. We didn't have a lot of gaps up and over stuff. We had good breaks of entries. I hope you guys were watching because we made some money this week. No question about it. Breaks below this 1039, 1035 area was where I was going to look to get short. And I said right above this area is the one to watch. And it did not take long. Once we got above that area, look at where it just hit all the stops. Everybody got out of short positions and hopefully into long. Took a little bit of profits. Right back into the moving averages as well, bouncing off this lower support line. You can see the chop that we're putting in, but now we have to start noticing what that little old inverse head and shoulders pattern I was telling you about. Not only are we seeing it on a daily, we're also seeing it on the weekly. Here, and now the right shoulder forming here. So we're watching carefully. We break 11:30, guys. Could be off to the races. You're going to want to be looking at some long positions at that point. VIX on a daily also dropping, confirming what we saw today, coming back down into this 20 to 21 area that I had spoke about earlier in the week. Here you can see it dropping as well on a weekly, finally breaking down and through all this junk that we got caught in here for a while. So now back into this 20 area as well. Apple on a 60-minute strong. I mentioned this. Look at this strong move up by Apple. We got above this blue line on a gap, came back, retested it, and kind of held above here. 254 was another major area. And lo and behold, we just took the easy route, gap above it, and run to the upside. Good for about $3. I'm sure you should have been able to trade that for a good $3. If we move right to the daily, you can see here that once we got above the 50, once above that 254-ish area I was telling you about, straight up for Apple. Apple loves strength in the markets. In most cases, not all, but in most cases, Apple plays very well to the long side when there's a lot of strong buying coming into the market. So if we get a pullback in Apple, I'd say we start, looking at some potentials in a lot of these stronger fundamental stocks. Weekly as well, the consolidation continues. Here you saw some pretty good movement this week, up back above the 20-week moving average. I still have to look at this as a potential high base in through here. So until this area down here is broke, I got to look at this as a bullish pattern here in Apple. We'll see if that plays itself out over the next couple weeks. FAS on a 60-minute also with a gap up, not going anywhere. Difficult trading. You can see how it was choppy. Coming back, retested this really strong level here of what was going to be resistance. Quickly became support on a retest, bouncing right back up, getting close to this overhead area. We'll watch that into next week as well. Do some more diagnosis on that. For the week, same thing as everything else. Pop. Look at that. 4 big white candles. If you were long pretty much anything this week that was bullish, you made money. I'd be surprised to see if anything, didn't do all that well this week from a bullish standpoint. Unless it was an inverse ETF, of course. But here we are popping above all of these overhead resistances. Up above this, up above this, up above this. We talked about entries on this thing. I liked it above this area here. Once we got back above 20, that was a good one to take on an intraday trade. You might have held it overnight. If you didn't, no problem. But once we broke and gapped above this 50, it was all over. Lots more stops being hit, and that's just what the market's wanting to do right now is pop those stops. Here's the big glide down. See, once we broke this, what was a bull flag, once we broke this, pattern's done. That's it. This is a whole different type of scenario here. Breaking down right into the $15 mark, break it, retest, and fall today along with the gap. So kind of hard trading from an intraday standpoint because we did get a little bit of this choppy action back here. But looking for breaks below this area here now into next week for your trades. From a daily perspective, nothing but red flags all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And look at this. Last 3, very few wicks. Very few wicks. Not a lot of buying coming in here. This is a lot of selling. So all the way from $17 down to $13 in the course of a week is a huge move on FAZ. This was your entry right here below the $16 mark. Just a fantastic entry to take. Even if it was only for a day, he did really well on this. So good trading this week if you were bullish on a lot of stocks. We will see if this can hold into next week. No reason, of course, at this point to think that it can't. I am still short-term bullish and longer-term bearish, but I will be starting to kind of reconsider that position a little bit more over the weekend. I'm going to start looking at things here a little bit closer, looking at my wave counts a little bit differently, looking at my technical analysis and trying to figure out at what point do I start becoming a little longer term bullish. How about that? So I'm still thinking a year or two out we're going to be more bearish than bullish, but if we're going to end up bullish, guys, I want to be on the right side of the trade. I'm not going to let my bias influence. So let me chew on some things over the weekend. I'll be back with you. Hope you have a great one. Enjoy your day off, and we'll see you again on, well, Sunday or Monday and then Tuesday night. Bye.